From gay puppets to handmaids tromping around Senate office buildings, this week's news cycle has been so stupid and so toxic. We're breaking with tradition today and bringing you some of the best stories from this week that the nightly news didn't bother telling you. Hey guys, I'm Brittany Hughes and welcome back to Reality Check on MRC TV. This week we debated whether two male puppets on Sesame Street are in a secret sexual relationship. NBC spent 10 minutes on a porn star comparing the president's genitalia to a video game character. Joe Biden called Trump supporters the dregs of society, and the entire left-wing media repeatedly accused a man of an attempted rape from 35 years ago based on one woman's allegation and exactly zero proof. And you're a sexist who hates women if you don't believe her. That was this week's news cycle. Honestly, it's weeks like this one that kind of just make you want to throw in the towel and hole up in a bunker somewhere in the woods and hope that all of this insanity eventually burns itself to the ground. So if you too are thinking about heading down to your local Cabela's and becoming a doomsday prepper, here are 5 awesomely positive stories that the media totally ignored this week to help break up your toxic newsfeed. Being the irredeemable jerk that he is, Donald Trump had the audacity to embrace a little boy while handing out meals to Hurricane Florence victims in North Carolina. The president was encouraging some families who had been hit hardest by the storm when a little boy came up to him and asked for a hug. Here's the clip.
Can I have a hug?
Speaking of Hurricane Florence, a van with more than 50 dogs and cats from a North Carolina animal shelter broke down at a gas station while trying to flee the storm. They couldn't turn around and go back home, which meant that all of these animals were stuck in a crowded vehicle without food, water, or air conditioning. The shelter didn't know what to do, so they put out a call on social media asking for help, and 55 strangers showed up with pet supplies and air-conditioned cars for the animals to cool off in. Another animal shelter showed up with a van for them to borrow. One of the Good Samaritans even paid to have the van repaired so the shelter could save money and help even more animals. All the pets were taken to safety and released to foster homes. Jeff and Rachel Finn were expecting their second child when doctors told them that their daughter would be born with a rare heart defect and probably wouldn't survive. Baby Ivy was diagnosed with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, a condition that meant that her heart couldn't pump oxygen into her bloodstream. But after performing a rare and complicated surgery that had never before been done in a baby in utero, doctors were able to start repairing Ivy's heart while she was still in the womb. She was born last Friday. Since then, she's already had 1 open heart surgery and has 2 more operations scheduled, but she's already proven that she's a warrior. And she also proves that every single life, both born and unborn, is worth fighting for. 2 of the 55 sets of Korean War remains returned by North Korea have been identified. Those remains were those of Army Master Sergeant Charles McDaniel and Army Private First Class William Jones. McDaniel was only 32. Jones was only 19 when they died defending freedom overseas nearly 70 years ago. Of course, NBC Nightly News didn't think this story was worth mentioning, but we're sure it brings some comfort and closure to these heroes' families, and we thank them for their service. And some may not think this is positive, but me, I think it's awesome. Parkland shooting survivor and March for Our Lives co-founder Cameron Kasky says that he's stepped away from the left's signature anti-gun movement after realizing that, well, he's 17 and not exactly an expert on the whole gun issue. Kasky told Fox News Radio this week he now regrets calling Marco Rubio a murderer during a CNN town hall back in February and has come to a greater understanding of gun owners who use their Second Amendment right to protect their families, as well as women who identify as pro-life. Good for him. And that is your happy Reality Check America, and we hope it reminds you that not everything is as terrible as the media wants you to believe. Got a positive story of your own? Leave it in the comments and help save all of our sanity. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page, like us on Facebook and Twitter, and stay sane out there.